Well, I'm actually kind of flattered that iJustine took time out of her day to parody my video. It does need a parody. One of the things that is obvious about this video that I made is that it's a little weird. That's because it's very difficult to. It was at the time very difficult to talk about this because I don't know. I had sent emails and it was just sort of like, I need to tell people about this. So I explained, the beginning of YouTube and maybe not very well actually. And some of it's kind of like I was kind of negative about what I was saying. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how it really got started in a different sort of mindset, or not with my sunglasses on, to try to convey to you how it was created. First of all, YouTube itself, the company, grew in ways that I perceived as being pretty much along the lines of what I suggested originally. It had to be scalable. It had to be something that started from just a few people, and then through word of mouth, virally grew. And these things were successful, and I knew that YouTube was a good name for the company, so when I did talk to Chad, I explained to him that it was very specific about, it has to be YouTube. They wanted to call it something else, and YouTube was a great, it's YouTube. It's like defeating celebrity. It's saying, you too can be famous, you too can be a part of this, but at the same time it's saying it's YouTube, it's all about you, man, like that sort of thing. So it has these things about it, and that's part of the reason why it was viral. I mean, I love viral media. I've been producing it for years. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of resources. I'm just not very well connected. I'm adopted. I don't have much family other than my adoptive parents, who don't have a ton of money. They could have loaned me some money. I mean, it only takes about $10,000 to get something moving. As far as on the web, for at least a small number of users, $10,000 means a lot, especially if you can create the technology yourself, which is what I can do. I'm capable of that, and I knew that, like, with, the biggest challenge to YouTube and what a company would be needed for is to protect against copyright violations and to deal with huge infrastructure that would have to be implemented over time as the site grew. And the site is astronomical. There's no denying that. And, as far as claims that people make towards me online and on various blogs and things about how I didn't invent this or there's no proof, my testimony is as much proof as I have. There are some artifacts of the company Grand Illusion Studios from 1998. Don Marinelli's a guy, I haven't talked to him in years, but I bet you he would tell you about his company and how I created a marketing website mock-up that is very similar to YouTube. And I also told him about the YouTube idea. They were just, they were moving on with their synthetic interview project, and that was what they were about. And as far as my own personal contacts and VC attempts, or attempts to get VC money, people shut you out when it comes to asking for thousands and thousands of dollars. They don't know who you are, and even if you have a degree or go to a prestigious school, it doesn't really, they're not going to give you money unless they'll give you like $500 if you're an undergrad, But I was an undergrad for 9 years, and it took a very long time. I didn't have enough money to graduate, so I was sort of in a situation where I had no credentials. I didn't have any close friends except for one who had $1 million, but he was so concerned with his own career that he didn't really want to participate in anything I had to do. In fact, part of YouTube grew out of the love of movies and television that my friend and I used to watch, and that my grandmother and I used to watch. I used to watch Bonanza with her. I'm not a big fan of Bonanza, but I do like westerns. Being an American Indian, we're always, kind of being shot at in those. But anyway, I wish no one any ill will. I'm not here to libel anyone. I'm not here to dissuade you from anything other than to explain that, yes, indeed, YouTube had its start at the University Technology Development Center 1 on Henry Street in Oakland, Pennsylvania. Chad was from IUP. I felt like by giving it to him, or at least trying to get 1%, but giving it to him to run with was a good idea, because IUP grads, especially Chad, he had shown me, at least by working at PayPal and being a part of PayPal's beginning, that he was probably connected enough to get this off the ground, and I'm just not. I had spent my time here and not on the West Coast. So I'm going to wrap this video up, but you'll probably be hearing more from me. I have a lot of great ideas about fixing the world and improving people's lives, and hopefully one of my own ideas will give me some money, and maybe Chad or the university people, or the university people, or Peter Thiel, or somebody will take notice, and aside from PayPal's I fixed a lot of PayPal. I personally fixed a lot of it, and it still needs fixing, I guess, but it seems to be better, and I don't use it as much, but I just my ideas are part of every major company on the West Coast. It just happens, and they're in a position to help people on a large scale, and I'm not. But I have a great idea, and so this is the conduit that I use to get those ideas out there. I mean, I named Microsoft Vista. People are like, "Oh yeah, right, it was you." Well, yeah, sure. I called it and anonymously said, "Why don't you call it Vista?" They don't have to take my suggestions when I make them, but they took this one.